I'm a big believer in catching that wave. It's like a surfer, right? You know, if you're too early or too late, you don't go anywhere. But if you just hit the wave just right, you can ride a long way. And I have a process for that where I make predictions about where I think the world is going. And I work on things to kind of get ready for that. And then when I see what I call it, so those are what I call trends. My predictions are trends or where beliefs that I have about the world. And then I look for trigger moments. And when there's a trigger moment that confirms one of my thought about beliefs, now I know it's the time. So with Siri, the trigger moment was the iPhone. The iPhone came out. People at the time said, oh, this is going to be a fad. This is going to fail. Because only a phone company can make something as complex as a phone. Apple makes this little music player thing that's this big. It's so simple. They're not going to be able to pull off a phone. And I saw this and said, oh no, I've been waiting. In fact, I had been predicting that something like apps and mobile is going to come along and take off. Now I know 2 years from now, every handset manufacturer will be desperate to compete with Apple because Apple's going to be the most popular phone 2 years from now. So what will the competition need? It's, what are the flaws of the iPhone? The screen is small. It's hard to type on that little, it's not even a chiclet keyboard like the BlackBerry. It was soft keyboard, on the screen. And the bandwidth was super slow. Like every click on a web page would take like almost a minute with 3G. And I said, well, what if, 10 clicks for a purchase maybe to get through a purchase flow is like 10 minutes. Like no one's going to do that. What if you could just pick up your phone and in one step without typing, say, get me 2 tickets to the basketball game tomorrow night. And it says done, 1 round trip. That's what the competition needs to beat what will soon be the dominant phone on the market. And then, of course, the irony, as I mentioned, Steve Jobs was the first to see it. And so we built Siri for Apple's competition. When we saw the iPhone, that was the trigger moment saying, I now know what the world will be 2 years from now. It's time to take this idea I've had on a shelf for ages and bring it to the world for real.
So many great points you touched on. Most important thing you said was very much actually like the thinking of Steve Jobs, now that I think about it, because I do remember Steve said when he was asked about something like why he created the iPhone or why he's creating these other products besides the computer, didn't he say something like, you have to know what the customer needs before they even start looking for it, right? You give the customer what you know they're going to want and need. Basically predicting, like very systematically calculating, like a programmer. Well, if this, then that. If this, then that. So I think if this happens at this time, then that. So, wow, yeah, all conditional logic, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that clip. And if you did, go ahead and click the link in the description below to check out the full interview to keep those creative gears turning. Remember to click the notification bell, comment below, and subscribe to this channel for more amazing, thought-provoking interviews. I'm Shaun J, and welcome to the Making Magic Podcast.